Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer!
Ask an Engineer and Becky! We have special guest Becky. Yeah. Hello everybody, welcome
and my arm.
And
yeah.
1/4 of Phil.
Yeah,
Hey everybody, welcome to another fun and exciting and joyous Ask an Engineer. I'm Lady Ada, the engineer. With me is Becky.
I'm Becky.
And Adabot.
Hello.
We're broadcasting live from our secret hangout clubhouse in downtown Manhattan. We've got all sorts of fun stuff on tonight's show.
That's right.
What's on tonight's show, Adabot?
On tonight's show, we're going to talk about the show and tell we just had. Talk about a maker meme. Ask an Educator this week. John Genere released a kit. A little recap. We were in print last week around Sunday. Wearable electronics hit the small screen. I guess that's TV, right? We'll talk about some of our badges. Our new badging program. Quick article I did on Make. And then lots of new products. We've got badges.
New.
Stickers.
New.
Solder.
New.
Teensy C++. Saley Logic. Battery packs.
Batteries.
Octal Lively. New 5-volt accelerometers. New chip. New OLED. Some top secret stuff. A couch that glows. We'll answer your question.
That's a sinister sounding.
We'll have our trivia questions. We'll have a cat. Cat. all that and more on Ask an Engineer.
Too much time alone with the software.
Okay, you've learned new tricks with this software. Can you do that again? That was kind of funny. Watching you.
That's what I wake up to.
That's true. That is true. You wake up.
If we don't feed him,
the cat just like sits on your chest.
I wake up and there's this giant cat eye in my eye. Yeah. All right.
It's true.
So let's get something out of the way real quick. Tonight's code is going to be OLED.
OLED.
OLED. Use the code OLED on checkout and you'll get 10% off many of our kits, including our new OLED.
And our OLEDs.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So let's talk about the show and tell. We have a little bit of a show and tell tonight. The show and tell had some really fun stuff. So let's try to remember if we can do all of them.
Okay.
Okay. Harry showed off his dice rolling thing.
Yeah.
First SMD project.
That's
awesome.
a cool SMD project.
Yeah.
So it can roll up to 6 dice at the same time, and it configurable as an RNG, and he's going to do some RNG or pseudo RNG testing to make sure it's super random, and then
Andrew had they're building a race car.
There's some race
and
car
it had like 6 Arduinos and has XPs and has everything.
And like there's
it's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid, and there's
96-volt
batteries and.
He's showing us like parts of the car. Like here's the servo that controls the carburetor.
Yeah.
It's intense.
And then next up, which is really great. I don't know if it's because you're here, Becky, but Sally showed her LED volcano jacket,
erupting volcano coat.
Yeah. So
very impressive.
More wearable show and tell projects, which I think we're going to see lots of soon.
Yes.
Becky brings them in.
Well, we have some news.
It's a really cool project. She's like, I took an e-textile class, and of course, volcano coat.
Volcano.
Then we had a really cool Game Boy printer that worked with a propeller.
Yeah.
So you could print stuff to it. And I remember the Game Boy printer. This is the first time you saw it.
I think I heard about it, but I keep forgetting about it. I remember the camera, but the printer is like, I must have heard about it.
It's silly.
You know that only like 200 people bought that thing. But they had to make like 10,000 because that's how it works. Yeah. Okay, next up, what was...
Next up, Dan, who had some microphone problems, didn't matter. He had the ultimate maker part finder. You say a part name.
And it would pop it out.
And there's a gantry in the back. It pops it out and it lights up.
That's so cool. I like the light up idea. I want to do that here for our inventory system.
So at Adafruit, when we ship an order, we'll have our shelves light up to where things are.
Because it's an easy one. You just put the strip down and it just tells you which shelf and which location. It'll be awesome.
And then another one was Jason had a MIDI controller.
MIDI Teensy guitar toy thing.
Yeah, but he was prepared. His mic didn't work, and he wrote down what it was.
Yeah.
And then you made all the bloopy sounds.
Bloopy, 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 bloop.
And then last up, Kevin had the boot drive.
Yeah.
Using the RGB LED shield.
The LCD shield to help him. You select which one you want, and then you press go, and it'll bootload it, which is pretty intense.
So I think that was all of them. If I forgot anybody, sorry, but I think that was it. Full house. Great stuff.
Is that everybody?
I think so.
Everybody.
So,
a lot of people.
Just a reminder, do you want to tell people how they can be on the show and tell?
Don't forget, if you want to join our Google Circle Show and Tell, super easy. Just go to my Google Plus page, Lady Ada's Google Plus page, not the Adafruit Google Plus page. It's a little confusing because we're going back and forth. And find the latest post where I said, hey, if you want to show off, comment on this post and make a new comment. And we'll add you to the show and tell circle. You need to be in a circle because I have 500,000 followers. So if we make it public, it'll just be filled with like teenage girls screeching and not.
That's happened before.
Well, and not doing electronic. I'm okay if they show up and screech and do electronics, but they're not doing electronics.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. So yeah, all that's I have to do.
Yeah, I like that. There's like, it's kind of built-in Fight Club. Like if you're on show and tell, you have to show a project.
Yeah.
Because they're on the show and tell circle.
Yeah, you can't say I didn't know. Projects
are really seriously awesome. Like, not to intimidate. I mean, all projects are welcome, I'm sure, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like beginner projects and I like advanced projects. I like both.
Everybody's just really into it. It's really cool.
These kids today are like, oh yeah, I sent off my first board to dork.pdx, and this is my first SMD thing. And these are like high school and like college kids. This is pretty impressive.
What's interesting is how advanced and easy it's gotten. Okay, so like when I was like an ancient freshman, that we did not know how to send out circuit boards. It was actually not. There was no easy system to do it.
No, you couldn't email files or upload it to a hackerspace.
It was it wasn't like it is now where it's like, oh, for $10. It used to be like, well, you have to spend $250 at least.
Yeah.
And like I don't think I sent off my first board until I was like a junior, and even then it was like because I had a roommate who knew how to do it.
Right.
Now it's so easy. Like everybody can do it, which is fantastic.
Yeah. So there's no excuse for there not to be amazing engineers.
No.
Right? There's like it's all available. It's all possible now.
Yeah, it's really easy.
I mean, anyone can download free software.
I think Lane has done more for electrical engineering than like anybody else.
I see these purple boards everywhere.
Obama should give him a peace prize or something.
I don't want anyone to mess with him. It's like this perfect thing happening. Whatever he's doing, keep it up. Keep it up.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Okay.
Okay. Next up, you know these memes that are going around? It's I just wanted to put this on here. You saw this one, Becky, right?
I saw the version that was for experience designers.
Experience designer one's pretty good.
Which
The one's
really
pretty good
funny.
too. Yeah. So this is what it says. So this is what my partner thinks I do in this big messy workshop. This is what my mother thinks I do, and it's like saving the world. You know, you have a wrench and you're building stuff. What society thinks I do, a little kid. Except what designers think I do, which I think is really funny.
Total nonsense bucket on your head with chicken
wire.
wire.
What I think I do, Michelangelo.
iPod tape to the side.
Yeah, and then what I really do. And I think this was kind of neat because there are these memes kind of go around. And
what's he doing? Making his own beer?
I think that might be a MakerBot.
Is it?
Or is it a little CNC bot?
It's a CNC. Yeah, it's a little CNC bot.
Yeah. So I think this is neat because kind of like when you know something's working out, you see like memes are now. Like, they're all over the internet. Mm-hmm. So we're starting to see, like, anytime there's a meme, like, there's a maker version of it now, too. And it's very cool.
It's cool.
It's not like a weird, geeky thing. It's actually, like, a very neat, heroic thing. So I thought this was kind of neat. I thought we'd have that in there. This week,
funny, too.
Yeah, this week on, we have Ask an Educator post from Adam everywhere. He's doing an awesome job with this. So people can submit, if they're a teacher or if they're an educator, the questions that they have to him, who's a real teacher, real educator in a school teaching like Arduino, teaching STEM. And this week's was what's STEM?
Good question.
So it's a good question because everyone keeps asking. And so he answers it and he talks about science, technology, engineering, math. And then a lot of people, one of the interesting debates that goes around the web is should they add art? So I'll ask you guys, do you think it should be art? Wait, I'm going to tell you my opinion. I think art is engineering, personally. So I don't know if it's required. What do you think?
So I'm pretty biased. I think that I do agree that art
should be STEAM.
I think that there should be more support for the arts.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think that shoving it into science, technology, engineering, and math doesn't make sense. I think art stands on its own. I do agree that there's lots of art that has engineering and engineering that has art in it. Yeah. But I think that what they're trying to do with STEM is teach a certain skill set.
Yeah.
I think design makes more sense than just art. Like, if that makes sense. I took art classes. I loved them. Like jewelry making, I think has a lot of engineering involved, and that's what's like some of my favorite classes. And even sewing and textile work and painting and sculpture. But I think that by adding it, they're kind of just making it even more difficult to try to get people to do it. Yeah, it's becoming unfocused, and of course, the people who are demanding STEAM, the most vocal critics are the people who are like, well, I'm an artist, so I want.
And I think it's really a lot easier to make arguments for like improving the. It's a lot easier to justify professions in in science, technology, engineering, and math in terms of like the domestic workforce and revitalizing the economy and all of this stuff, where if you mix in art, then you'll get the art critics who are like, you can't, like, it's not going to improve art, it doesn't have this higher chance of improving the economy, and it's not focused.
And you're an artist, I mean, like, right?
I went to art school, yes.
Yeah, you're an artist.
Bachelor of Fine Arts.
And so
I had an art fellowship in New York.
Yeah,
I mean,
and you're an engineer. So I think it's interesting. Me personally, I think that I think we have to celebrate the art in science, the art in technology, the art in engineering.
It can be part of like revitalizing the education in science, technology, engineering, and math.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
it's kind of like, so music is part of that too. It is like it is part of it. It's very mathematical. You know, it's like, and some of the most amazing pieces of artwork now are based on technologies.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like recalibrating how you explain STEM. STEM doesn't mean you're just going to be taking tests all the time, and that's, I think, one of the perceptions. It's like it's not fun.
I think that if you're going to teach engineering, you should teach it in a way that includes art. But I think that what art means to us and what it means when you talk to like the boards of education are different things. Like, we think like, wow, a MakerBot allows you to make 3D printed art. That's not what it means when you
That's how they have to teach it, though. They need to say STEM should be like, we're going to make a MakerBot, and you're going to print out your designs. Isn't that cool?
Well, because you have to learn so many things. That if you think about all the things you have to learn to be able to do that, it's different than thinking about art education, which is what...
Art education means something different. So it is confusing, because I'm not saying...
That's why I don't think it should get mixed in. I'm not saying, like, oh, you need to sit down and, like, do equations. I think the problem is if you add art, people will think, like, well, wait a minute, what does painting have to do with engineering? And I'm like, no, like, they have to figure out another way of doing it. It could be, I could see, like, design going in, because that actually it evokes more of what I think...
I just talk about it a different way. So when people say... I say, well, art is engineering, and they say, what do you mean? I said, well, the wave bubble is an art project. And they're like, oh, I get it. It's more than the physical bits, and of course it took a ton of engineering. It's a very hard project, but in the end, it's an art project, because you're discussing, should we be able to jam cell phones or GPS?
Right.
Or,
but you don't go to school to learn how to make the wave bubble as an art project.
No, but some artists do, though.
So, like,
but they're like, I want to learn that. Like, that's the type of artwork they want to do.
Right, and so for that, they'll pursue that, and like art education, I don't think should be grouped. I agree with you. It shouldn't be grouped with science, technology, engineering, and math.
So, anyways, interesting discussions, ongoing. It's very cool.
It's a debate. It's
super cool. I look at the type of stuff that you guys do as art and engineering. It's perfect It's a perfect intersection of the two.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I think architecture, design and architecture are two things that I think are maybe easier to digest with STEM.
Yeah. All right, next up.
That's it. Art rules.
John Genere. Got to give some shout outs to John Genere, who's in the chat.
Yes.
He has a new project.
Yeah, this is like a board Reno, but it's been remixed for one of my favorite little mini 8-bit micros, the AT Tiny 2313, and its new upgrade, the 4K 4313. So yeah, it's got like a DC power. It's very similar to a board Reno. It's got the DC power jack and a 5-watt regulator and headers. And what's nice about it is it plugs into one side of a breadboard, which is nice because it means you have even more space. I think this is a totally awesome remix. I love it.
So everyone asked John Genere a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
Encourage him to keep making awesome projects.
Yeah.
And I think he got his boards from Dorkbot PDX.
They're also purple.
Yeah, I think he did too.
That's a cool. It's all. I mean, that's just like the smartest thing that they did was like make it purple, because then now you can spot them anywhere. Because it's such a rare color.
Yeah. Next up. Last week we announced that we were going to be in print in the New York Times.
And
that's your hand, Becky. That's your hand in the floor.
It's this one. Wait, you cleared off your nail polish.
And I was wearing blue nail polish.
So on Sunday of last week, I marched down to the coffee shop, and it was a full half page
really nice.
In the business section.
Above the fold.
Yeah, above the fold.
Big photos.
And it was about wearable electronics. There was Kate Hartman was in there. She's a professor. Becky was mentioned. You were mentioned.
Susie Beckton.
Susie was mentioned. It's awesome. She's got some ink in the Times. She has one of the best blogs, fashioningtech.com. If you're into wearable electronics.
Her blog is awesome.
It's the best. And
Phil and I fight over which posts we can.
Yeah, since Becky joined up, we actually were territorial. So I have my RSS readers changing. I'm like, I have Becky Zone. So no, it's true because we read the same stuff.
Otherwise, we post the same stuff.
I read a lot of news, so I send you a lot of news stuff because I kind of eat through the entire Wall Street Journal, New York Times every day. Yeah. I can't help it. I just love reading those papers.
So, anyways, it was great. It was last Sunday. and it was fantastic. A lot of interesting people contacted us about Flora, so we're still working on it. We're going to have the accessories probably out a little bit sooner.
Yeah, we're going to try to get the Pixels and some of the little mini breakout boards out first. We're trying to get a bunch of stuff off of our plate. One of them, which is the OLED, we're showing later, and then I'm going to get you some Pixels soon. So
and speaking of wearables, this was your post today. Can you talk about the show? So did you watch the show?
Yeah, I watched the show.
Okay, so what is this show, and what did they do?
I love Project Runway. I don't know if the engineers in the audience watch it as often as I do, but I think it's great because it shows like designers working on solving a problem. Diana Eng was on it. She had some cool magnet thing. Like it's one of the reality shows that I like because they're building stuff and they're judged on it, and they this last week they're like, okay guys, you're gonna use lighting technology in your avant-garde looks, and they go to this like TV and film like lighting place over in the West 40s, and it looks like this, and they're just like presented with every gaudy and tacky lighting option that there is available.
So this is actually, because I was wondering, I looked at it, I was like, wow, that looks like a lot of stuff that some of which we sell in the store, like EL tape, EL panel, but they actually went to a place that it's like a media supply.
Yeah, it's like they sell like big TV production lights too, but they also have like magnetic LED throwies that flash at a certain rate and like a bunch of stuff, and so a lot of it was like really tacky, and so part of their challenge was is to have good taste, and so like pick out the right things and apply them in a good way, and these were the two top, maybe they were the two top ones, I can't remember, but I thought they were interesting.
The blue one's actually not so bad.
The blue one is like a string of lights draped around a really cool outfit, and it looks nice on stage.
Yeah, it's done pretty well. And then the mod one is kind of cute too.
I liked the way he put the EL tape inside like a channel and like paired a couple colors together to make these like tracks. It was a cool design element, but a lot of them really just were like, I don't know what to do, I'm just gonna braid this EL wire and put it around the thing, and I kind of wish the show would have gone into a little bit more detail about how to work with this stuff, or they just like brought them to a store just like they bring them to the fabric store. Well, they know fabric. They bring them to this place and they're just like, oh, we pick out all this stuff, and it's way expensive.
It's really tough because a lot of the thing that I've learned, because like I've been doing like wearable stuff both at the Media Lab and also like going to like Burning Man every year, and like also in Boston there's just a lot of people doing stuff, and it is really difficult to not get tacky. And so what I liked about when Phil came up with the eye necklace and eye cufflink design, I was like, oh wow, okay, it's light up design, but nobody ever says like, wow, that looks really tacky. Some people don't like it, but it's not tacky. It's not tacky.
Yeah. Right.
And there's nothing wrong with tacky either. Like I love, like we have an LED belt. It's totally tacky.
Right. Well,
but it's meant to be.
And a lot of these outfits looked like they should have been for Burning Man. And their judge was Pharrell Williams, and I feel like it should have been someone like who does Burning Man or one of us.
There's nothing wrong.
I feel like of course they should have brought them here instead of to this place. But
I kind of like that everyone's ruined wearable electronics because it's always crazy that everything's blinky too much. No one does it elegant and subtle. It's kind of like when people go logo crazy.
Right.
Like you can make a logo big.
Then you go over it.
Yeah.
They also, not only were they given all these light up things, the runway was blacklit. So they
was really ugly.
Blacklight tape was one of their tools, and to me, things that use electricity and things that glow under blacklight should be mixed very sparingly, unless you're at Burning Man, because like
blacklight material always looks tacky.
Yeah,
because there's no way you can avoid it without being like, oh my god, I'm totally stoned and my Hendrix poster is like pulsing at me.
And everything's the same, like three
colors. The bar
colors.
is so low to do elegant, beautiful wearable electronics. So speaking of, we're probably not going to ever do a reality show, but as you do all the wearable electronics.
I love Project Runway.
Yeah, we're gonna do our own version, and we're gonna film you making stuff, and we're gonna actually wear stuff that's real. You're working on shoes soon for me. They'll be very subtle and elegant wearable electronic shoes that people will say, "Wow, that looks great."
Who does?
The
I like
key
shoes.
is to put as little as possible. It should only be an accent, and it's kind of like.
I had a question. Can I ask you a question, engineer? I want to cut the EL panel.
Yeah.
And I want to cut it small enough that I can use the pocket inverter, the smaller one. Is that you think that's likely?
Yeah. The inverters, the way it works is that they drive a certain square inch size, and so the more you cut it, the smaller the inverter you can use. I have a sample of an inverter that uses like a coin cell, but like it can only run like a length of EL, like it's meant for like a teeny length. So you have to shape. You cut the shape. the trick is basically you should find out how much EL you're going to use, and then if you have a capacimeter, like that's the best way you measure the capacitance, and then you can figure out what EL inverter.
All right. Because I'm going to cut it and like plug in one inverter, and then if it doesn't work, plug in the bigger inverter.
So
but also maybe also measure it.
Yeah.
Before publishing a tutorial.
Get your capacitance meter and your seam whipper out.
I've never used a capacitance meter before, or is it on my multimeter and I just don't know how to use it yet?
It's in there, probably. Okay.
Okay. Next up, person sent this in. People are collecting these badges. They're earning them.
Who's this? Whose bag is this? This is a nice bag.
It'll be on the blog.
No.
Shortly.
Well, look, there's the QR code badge. That's cool.
There's also two that aren't by Adafruit there that I thought were very interesting. There's the sewing and the robot. It's really cool.
And so the big announcement this week that we finally launched this is
you did an article.
Yeah, I did an article on Make, and also CNET wrote some stuff. Slashdot posted about this. And so did The Verge and a bunch of other sites. Is it time for Hacker Scouts? So everyone who's been watching this show for at least like the last 6 to 8 months has noticed we've been putting lots of embroidered badges. And then we had stickers. And it wasn't a big leap or a big mystery, but there's digital versions behind the scenes. So that was our big announcement that we made. And we have 5 kids, young people, I should say, kids all the way to young folks. And they have profiles on the site. And so these are people that you saw that you said, hey, they're doing amazing projects. I'm going to award you a badge. And behind the scenes, the way it works is they get an email and they say, hey, log into your account, and a free badge, a physical badge is added. And they can check out right then, and it's sent to them free. If they place an order, it's dropped in for free. And then they have a digital public profile that has the badge that they earn, and this is you deciding that this is someone that we should celebrate and recognize. So
we've given out a bunch already.
Yeah, we've given out a bunch already, and then I have a follow-up article on Make, and I'll get to that in a second. But I wanted to show the badging system. This is the first time that we can finally show it. So this is the leaderboard, and the leaderboard. The interesting thing about this is the leaderboard. We thought about this a lot. You both play video games.
Xbox.
Yeah, I don't.
Xbox.
That's the only thing I have
to accept my friendship.
Yeah, well, you should. We should play Portal 2-player.
I haven't done that before. Oh,
yeah,
Xbox friends.
So
I need my achievements. When I didn't have internet, when I moved, I was really upset that like it wouldn't log my Grand Theft Auto achievements.
Yeah, achievements.
Yeah. You guys are a lot smarter than me, so you need your video game downtime. Yeah. Like, I just need to, like, grind away and do customer support and payroll and, like, pay tax stuff. But you guys, you're really into video games. And this was kind of a response. I was watching you with, like, leaderboards, and I was watching kids. They were always talking about high scores. So we decided to do something.
I collected, like, all those goddamn Batman trophies. I mean,
you had all the Batman trophies.
I
remember, yeah. And so one of the things that we decided to do was, well, you know, kids like to do that too. They're all playing video games, like it or not. There's no way to say, hey, kids, like, you should go out and do something else. No, they're going to play video games no matter what. Can't stop them.
I learned stuff playing video games.
It's totally fine. And so what we decided to do is make the leaderboard based on time, not what skills you've earned. So, like, you don't want people to go crazy and try to collect a bunch of skills just to be number one. It's how many you're earning over time, because it takes a while to learn skills. So these are the first 5 beta testers. We have Joey, who recently met the President of the United States and got the President to shoot a marshmallow in, like, the White House. Crazy. Sam was on our show and tell, showed a microcontroller project. Budget engineer. He has a UAV project and also a high-altitude balloon project.
He gave a talk about his high
TEDx.
Altitude.
Yeah. These are, like, superstars. Young people superstars. This is our future. This is the future. Patrick McCabe made a beautiful laser-cut robot case. And then Robot Girl, everyone knows Robot Girl. She does tons of awesome robotics. So I wanted to drill into some of the profiles. So this is Robot Girl. You can see the profile that she made. She made a little icon. We awarded the robotics badge, and then we talk about the project. First, why did you get a robotics badge? Then here's a video, and then the project links. And then the skill badges that are still available that anyone can earn, including her. So that's one. The next part of this is the rest of the profiles. So you see, Joey just recently learned how to use an oscilloscope. And of course, like any good maker, what does he do? He makes a video about how he learned how to use an oscilloscope.
Oh, that's a nice old Techscope.
So now you get an oscilloscope badge. So we're going to be on the lookout for really great people sharing and showing their stuff. So this is Ethan showing his high altitude balloon project. He actually got 2 badges right away. It's pretty good. So that's the overview, and we have an XML feed. So every time we award a badge, it goes on Twitter, and it's announced, it's shared. And the goal is for everyone to start thinking about what it means to earn like a merit badge or a skill badge, and what the Boy Scouts could do, what the Girl Scouts do. Girl Scouts do not have a robotics badge. Boy Scouts do, Girl Scouts don't.
Yeah.
So we're hopefully going to convince them, and we'll donate the artwork, and we'll help them if they want to do an online thing. Our Circuit Playground app will have the badges, and then we're going to open it up to everybody. And then it won't just be us choosing. And a lot of this is peer-to-peer. So what we're finding is teachers are buying the badges, coming up with curriculum, and then giving the badges.
That's great incentive. They're really awesome badges too. I was a Girl Scout, and so I was nutso over collecting like these digital achievements on the Xbox. They're cool and all, but like those physical merit badges was like, yes, I did this thing.
So if you want to see some background, I wrote this gigantic article. By the way, thank you to Goalie at Make, who always edits my article, and Gareth, who checks it out. Like, my articles look okay because there's a couple people involved. Yeah, like, it's just like the stream of content.
I didn't have to check your article.
So I go through Boy Scout Pass, I go to Boy Scout Present, and both the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, their membership is decreasing, sometimes by huge drops, and then sometimes just like, it's just edging down. There's parents that are both working. People are more mobile.
Right.
People are living in cities. And so I want to embrace what's in the world of scouting. I think it's interesting. I think this like hacker scout thing might be something that people adopt. But also, how can we make it digital? And how can we, like, every kid has an iPhone. They have a supercomputer in their pocket. So how can we like turn Angry Birds into like a STEM, I'll bring it up again. How can we turn that into like a STEM effort? So in addition to the entrepreneurial things that like the Girl Scouts do with cookies. By the way, I read the full Girl Scout annual report. Like, it is intense. $730 million of cookie sale revenue. Now, it's all licensing and stuff like that. But like, these are businesses. So I'm like, hey, why don't you guys do a Kickstarter for Girl Scouts? Right? They can come up with other businesses in addition to the cookie stuff. Anyways, so that's what we released. Girl Scouts have some new badges. I hope they adopt 3D printing and laser cutting, computer programming.
In order to get the good credit badge, you have to be, how old? 17, 18?
Yeah.
Or older.
And so we'll see how it goes. A lot of Scoutmasters contacted me.
Don't stay in Girl Scouts that long.
While we're in the, while the show's going on, 2 Scoutmasters emailed me.
Oh, good.
Because I can't just do one thing at once. I have to like glance over there.
Yeah.
And Becky, you were a Girl Scout, weren't you?
I was a Girl Scout, and that's what I mean by like, I didn't stay a Girl Scout that long because
I was a Girl Scout, so I don't know who
there wasn't a leader for, once I got to the next age group up, there wasn't a troop leader.
Oh, yeah.
You know, preteen girls are not fun to hang out with.
So that's the thing. Now everybody kind of gets the full circle. I mean, we'll have stuff on the iPhone, iPad side, but like now, like it all probably makes sense. It's like, oh, why are you guys making all these badges, and like what's going on with that? So this is a project.
Okay.
So. Online profiles, earning badges.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Special thanks to Daigo, our CTO, who did an awesome job with this.
Yeah, he rocked out.
Yeah.
And I have a soft spot for digital embroidery, so. Patches are all really nice.
Yeah,
these are really nice patches. We got some new patches actually in. We got the Ada patch, and we got the biohacking patch.
Biohacking just came in, there's a biohacking lab in New York City, and then Tech Review just had an interview with a guy who has like a biohacking lab.
Oh wait, I said that to you. That's right.
Yeah, you said it to me.
Mom's spare bedroom.
Yeah, that's how you know about it. Okay,
so
next up, it's new product time.
Oh, we should probably do the code.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the code in a second.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, wait. The code is OLED. Now we're going to do new products.
Okay.
All right, new products.
Yeah,
okay.
we have a lot of really exciting new things
this week.
To show.
I actually know all about all of the new products because I helped add them to the store.
Thank you, Becky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Becky's is still getting all the training at Adafruit.
Yeah.
So you're adding
but this
products,
time, like last week, or the last time I was here 2 weeks ago, I was like, oh, okay, I don't know the details about that.
They know all the details,
all the details.
Okay, so
let's start
first up on new products. One of the badges came in. We were just talking about.
Yeah,
we got put this on the overhead.
Biohacking
badge. It's right over there. It's right in front of this sailing.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Oh, of course I dropped it.
Oh no.
Second.
This badge is boring. This is a snow badge. Oh wait, here it is. Okay. So,
this is the biohacking badge, and it's got this kind of like digital pattern in the back.
It's really nice.
And then a nice some double helix DNA strands. So
yeah.
nice.
Good texture on that one.
Yeah, it's got a lot of texture. It's very.
This is my favorite badge, I think.
Shiny a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a shiny thread. And then
awesome.
it's an iron-on.
It's an iron-on.
Or you can sew it on.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Next up, we don't have to show this one, but this is the stickers. We have open source upgrade stickers that Tyler Cooper from Kubro, who makes the open source ambient GPS device, which we sell in our store. He has an awesome new open source hardware company designed that. And basically what this is, if someone upgrades your project through open source, we slap a sticker on it, or we'll put it on a digital version and all that.
Yeah.
I really need one for my knitting machine.
Yeah, knitting machine. Slap it on the side.
Yeah.
Open source upgrade. Boom.
Boom.
The cufflinks and the necklace from Scott.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. Upgrade.
The sticker might be a little big for the necklace.
Double the battery. No, on the product page we can do it. Not to scale. It's all good. Next up, we got. You want to talk about this, Laura?
Yeah. So we have some new solder. We've been carrying lead solder for a bit, but for people who are in the EU, or also people who just have a want to keep a lead-free system at home, we now have lead-free solder. So, can you go overhead?
Yeah. I can.
Great. Maybe I'll have Becky also control the stuff while you're doing stuff.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I can do that.
I
know this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Becky knows.
So we have these come in quarter-pound spools, and so that's actually a good amount. I like quarter-pound because lead-free solder is expensive. It has silver in it, and as Becky knows, because she does silver work, and also me because I have to buy silver for the eye necklace and stuff, the silver prices have up. They're very, very expensive, and so unfortunately lead is rather cheap, and so is tin, but the silver is actually what's very expensive in this. So having a quarter-pound is a good amount because it's enough that it'll last you a few months, but not so much that you're like, wow, I just spent $100 on.
You're worried about losing it when you move.
Yeah, or you lose it.
Okay, one quick question someone has: isn't lead-free more toxic?
Well, the flux is not as good for you. It has to be a stronger
Yes, but it has
flux.
no lead.
It has no lead. So it's a trade-off.
It's different toxic.
Yeah.
So none of these
New
things.
and unique toxic.
I wouldn't solder, breathe in the fumes, and then go and eat something with my hands. You should always wash your hands with a good soap after you're done with soldering, especially if you've been doing a lot of handling. You should.
I noticed you guys have that special soap that removes heavy metals, including silver and lead.
Yes.
And I want some of that for jewelry making.
Does this need a hotter soldering iron?
Yeah, you need to have a hotter iron because it has a higher melting point. This is SAC 305, which is kind of the sort of there's no industry standard, but it's essentially the standard for lead-free solder. This is what the formulation that everyone uses. Yeah. It's pretty safe. This doesn't have some of the more toxic chemicals that sometimes make it into lead-free solder. It's pretty good stuff, but again, don't.
It's still solder.
It's still solder.
Do you know the reflow temperature for this stuff?
I don't offhand, but if you Google for SAC 305, it's a standard formulation. It's probably 750 degrees Fahrenheit.
And then, do you know the name of the soap that you were just talking about?
It's called D-lead.
D-lead.
D-lead. It's used for taking metal off of your hands, and we suggest, especially if you're doing a lot with the stuff where we do pasting before we do pick and placing, and that'll actually get on you. Whereas this, honestly, it's like unless you're really soldering all day and rubbing this between your fingers, it's not going to get on your hands that much.
I still try.
It's the flux you want to watch out for.
The thing I do instead of using special soap or not using lead is just don't have a sandwich. Have something that you eat with a fork for lunch.
And then just wash your hands with soap. And this also is it's 0.031 inches. So it's good for through hole or some large surface mount. We might eventually carry a thinner wire, but this is a good one, especially for people who do through hole. It has plenty of rosin core in the middle, and it's no clean, so you don't have to wash your boards afterward. You don't have to worry about the rosin or flux damaging your surface.
Is it from the company that I met the person who...
Yeah, this is from Ohio.
Which is funny. So I was getting a haircut, which is a rare event, but the person next to me overheard something I was saying. It's like, what do you do? It's like, oh, we do electronics. Like, funny you should say that. My family has a soldering spool company. We make the metal here
they
in the U.S. And I'm like, funny you should say that because we've been looking for someone new to work with, and we love that you're in the
No
US.
way, you met the solder supplier at the hairdresser.
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
The nice thing about it is
isn't that the weirdest thing?
Only in New York.
Only in New York.
The thing about solder is that it's because it's just metal. You should get it domestically because the metal is mined here and you can formulate it here, and then it's shipped UPS ground. So
it's heavy, so the fossil fuels make a difference.
The story of the company is awesome. Russian immigrant grandfather came over, worked his way up, now owns a company. Awesome story. Anyway.
Okay. This is really
good solder.
I tried this stuff out. It's good lead-free solder. If if you're starting out and you don't mind using lead solder, it is a little easier to use, but this stuff is really good.
Yeah. They're based out of Ohio, for the person who asked. Next up, this is the battery pack for Flora, actually.
Yeah, so we're starting to get the accessories in. So let's show this on the
So when the Flora shows up, it'll be ready to go.
Well, that's what we want. We got these in, and they're perfectly good.
We're building a nice nest for Flora.
It's a nice nest.
I mean, it's a battery holder. It's good for other things too, but
it's good for many things. Yeah. So this is a three AAA battery holder. So
it's very compact for a 3 battery holder.
I like that it's compact. It's fairly small. I mean, it's not as small as a lithium polymer battery, but you can use nickel metal hydride rechargeables. It's of course much safer than using a lithium polymer battery, and you use alkalines. You can replace the batteries very simply, and we have a JST connector on it, and so it'll plug into anything that has a JST input. And we designed this and got these made for the Flora because we wanted to have something that you could use alkaline batteries, rechargeable batteries, or a lithium polymer. I don't think that you should necessarily, I don't want to push people to use lithium polymer on fabric because lithium polymer, if you don't want to.
It's dangerous. If you do it wrong, you could burn yourself.
It can overheat very easily, and having it attached to clothing makes me a little bit uncomfortable.
For beginners, anyway, it's a little bit scary.
For advanced people, of course, it's totally you know what you're doing. You know not to puncture it or damage it.
Couple quick questions: is it Minty Boost compatible?
Yeah, you could use this with the Minty Boost. Just cut off the JST connector.
Okay. Next up, can you supply the other end of the connector too?
You can get them from DigiKey or Mouser.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll supply them, but right now you can just get them from DigiKey or Mouser. It's in the part finder.
Okay.
And there's an on-off switch too, which I kind of like, which is something that a lithium polymer battery doesn't have.
That's right.
Built in.
Okay. I'm excited about this. This is the Teensy ++.
Yeah. We've been carrying the Teensy for a really long time, and so we wanted to upgrade to the Teensy ++. So this is a Teensy for comparison. And this is the Teensy ++. So it's like about twice as big. And it uses the Atmega 90 128.6, I believe, which is also a USB core microcontroller. You can see there's just a USB mini jack here, and then this gigantic QFN. And it has tons more pins. It's supported by Teensy Duino, so that's good. But yeah, just basically.
So why would people use this over the Teensy, or even over an Arduino?
I like the Teensy. I think the Teensy is good for 99% of projects, but sometimes you really just need more pins, or you need more RAM, and this has 10 times as much RAM, 10 times as much flash, and it's not that much more expensive.
Like the guy in the show and tell who got the toy guitar from the thrift store and wanted to wire all of the pins to the.
I think actually did manage to do it on Teensy, but if you were you
needed more.
Yeah, if you want more, then you can use this as I don't even know how many pins it says, maybe 25 pins or something. So this is an upgrade, and so now we have both. I really love the Teensy, and I think the Teensy ++ is great for people who want to do USB core stuff where you can have it pretend to be a MIDI device or have it pretend to be a keyboard or a mouse. Yeah. And it's really easy using pulse code.
So
really crazy lots of projects you can do with it.
Yeah.
A couple quick questions. Someone wants to know, is the Teensy still supported in stock? Yes, we have it.
We still have the Teensy, but we also have the Teensy ++.
And we have the Teensy ++. Is the Flora battery pack on sale now? Yes, you can do that.
Yeah, you can buy these now. We're going to slowly get all the accessories in, and then the Flora's last, because that's the hardest part.
And is there a programming header for ICSP?
I don't think so, but you can just wire it from, I think to save space, he didn't make a breakout, just like the Teensy doesn't have one.
Okay. Does it work with the PN532?
It should. We haven't tested it, and we try to only support the example code we have, which is for Arduino, but it should work. And on the Teensy ++, does the Leonardo bootloader work with it? I haven't answered this. The Leonardo bootloader actually doesn't work with anything that well. It actually doesn't work that well. It's being revised. Yeah. There is a bootloader in Lufa that works for this, or you can just use the bootloader that's built in. It's designed to be used with the half-K bootloader that is cross-platform compatible, so you can just use that and it has auto reset and everything. Let's see. Does it work with Arduino? Yes, there's the Teensy Duino. It works with the Teensy Duino, which is a port of
Arduino for this chip.
Yeah. Is it compatible with the Uno?
No, it's a different chipset.
Yeah, different chipset. So I guess one of the ways that when people ask me about the Teensy, what I explain is, so the Leonardo, the direction of Arduino and Teensy are kind of intersecting. So all the really advanced things that you want to do with a 32U4 board, like the Teensy kind of does it now. And eventually, when the Arduino team updates the Leonardo bootloader, you'll probably see parity between the two. You'll see similar feature sets.
Yeah.
But if you need to do really advanced stuff now and need to support and like the examples, Teensy's a great thing to pick up right now. Or our 32U4 board is another good one too. But Paul's been doing a great job with the Teensy stuff, so we like it. So that's why we stock it.
Great, and we have two Teensies.
Yeah.
One Teensy, two Teensy.
Teensy plus plus.
Okay, great.
Okay, next up. Saley Logic 16.
Yeah, so this is an upgrade from the Saley that we've been carrying, the 8-bit one, which I use all the time. In fact, I have to pull it out because I do some I2C debugging.
You want to put it on the overhead?
Yeah, I will. I just have to take it out of the box. I'll show off.
This is a live unboxing.
This is the one that I bought for myself. I buy one of everything to test on my own.
Yeah, comes in a neat case. The Saley folks are going to come and visit us soon, by the way. Yeah, I have questions for them.
Okay, this is a pretty big bag. So it comes with a nice case, and inside is the really rather large Saley, and it's got a nice sort of rubbery backing down here, so it'll sit nicely on your table. And then there's 16-pin pod output here, and on the other side is just a plain mini B jack. And it's nice anodized aluminum, so it's a really nice rugged case. And then it comes with these wires that plug in, and so there's two sets of 9-pin cables, 9 because there's 8 bits of data that you're watching, and then one ground pin. And the ground pin's the gray wire, which is kind of driven me a little crazy, but that's how it is.
Gray for ground.
Gray for ground.
Or green for ground. Or black for... Oh.
Well, yeah, that's what you do with that. But, yeah, they get 2 of these, and you plug them in, and so you can connect 2 of these at a time. And then there's also a whole bunch of these very nice easy hooks, or easy hook clones. Yeah, use these easy hooks to attach to pretty much anything.
You know, that's like the same mechanism that on most sewing machine needle threaders.
Yeah.
Like the same kind of shoot the hook out and grab the
There's
thing.
tons of overlap between like sewing and electronics.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that like...
And then you also get a
I use these little clippy ones are great for testing your conductive thread traces. You just
that is true. We actually have colored ones in the store. These are the really nice Pro Easy Hook ones, but we also have the colored ones. They're not actual Easy Hooks, but they're compatible. So yeah, it basically is exactly the same. Well, not exactly, but it's very similar to the Saley Logic 8, which is the well-known one. This one not only does it have 16 pins that it can look at, it has a larger buffer, and it works at a higher speed. You can do up to 1 megahertz sampling, so that's like super high sampling rate. So it's good if you need to watch more than 8 pins at a time. This is excellent. It's $300, but it's actually a really good deal for what you get. I mean, logic analyzers, when for the software and it's cross-platform, if you're buying this from if you're buying similar tools that are like desktop logic analyzers, 100 megahertz, 16 channels, it's a couple $1,000. This is a really nice compact logic analyzer, travel friendly, and yeah, I use it all the time. It's very easy to use.
A couple quick shout outs. Paint Your Dragon, Flubbergasm in the house, Freak Labs in the house, Consumer's in the house, K-Town.
We have a posse.
Full house.
Yeah, good.
I'm in the house.
All right, let's keep moving along. This is exciting. The Octal Lively is in stock. We've had it for a while, but we just finally put it in stock. So the Octal Lively is here. You wave your hand over it, and it glows. Do you guys want to see a video?
Let's see a video.
I think you want to see a video.
I want to see a video.
Okay, so this is what the Octal Lively is. Here you go. Fun stuff.
Yeah, they do great stuff. I love it.
Yeah, they made a neat coffee table and everything. Anyways, we have those now. Can't wait to see what people do with them.
They're totally beautiful.
Okay, moving right along. We're gonna be running a little late tonight.
I know.
Okay, next up, we have a new, updated version of the accelerometer. It's awesome. 5 volt.
Okay. Yeah.
Oops. Okay. 5 volt compatible. It's a big deal.
Yes, we're starting to move towards trying to have everything be 5 volt compatible. This guy is really small, so maybe I'll zoom in. Hopefully.
Yeah. And this is updated products. People know what accelerometers are, but. Want to talk about why this is better?
So this is the accelerometer we've had before. This is the ADXL 335, which is the really great Analog Devices accelerometer. They make fantastic low noise, low drift accelerometers, and this is their first, I think, one of their first triple axis accelerometer with analog outputs. So the accelerometer is a square in the middle, and we've had these before, but the update is now we have a 3.3 volt regulator on it. So it has analog outputs, but you still need to power it with 3.3 volts approximately.
Is it still 3.3 volt compatible?
Yeah, it's a very low, ultra low dropout regulator. Like it's maybe like 10 or 20 millivolts dropout. So you can use it with a a V-in from 3.3 volts up to 5.5 volts. And then if you need to use, if you want to have the exact A reference, you can take the V out pin, and that will be your exact analog reference. We put some nice big ceramic filter capacitors too, and it's much lower noise. You don't have to worry about if you're using something like an Arduino, they're kind of noisy. You want to maybe have an extra level of a low dropout to help you avoid noise problems.
Will we ever stock a gyro? Yes.
Yeah, I'm actually working on a gyro right now, but again, I have to make sure that it's a really good gyro, and also I want to make it 5 volt compatible, because we have some sensors now that use I2C that if you're using only 1 or 2 sensors that are 3.3 volt, it's fine, but if you start adding a lot of 5 volt sensors, you're adding these pull-ups, which probably won't damage I2C devices, but it's still kind of considered bad taste. So trying to move all of the sensors that we have, as well as all the new sensors, over to being 5 volt compatible.
Quick question for Becky and Lamar. Can you use something like the Octal Lively on Wearables, where someone could pass their hand over? And
you could do something like that. You would have to get you'd have to get those sensors.
Yeah, they're using IR sensors, right?
They're using very kind of chunky IR sensors.
IR
LEDs. You could have a surface mount distance sensor, for example. You can only use 1 at a time, but we have the very small VCNL 4000. You could do something similar to that that would do proximity
sensing. Well, you could do the same with the Octal Lively if you didn't use the through-hole.
I don't know of any IR. I mean, there must be surface
like a Piranha IR LED.
But it has to be an IR. It's actually an IR sensor.
An IR assessor.
So it sends IR and then it receives IR.
Here's the good news. As wearable electronics take off, there will be companies who make sensors specifically that are made to be tiny and wearable for things like this.
I mean, you could do, what I'm saying is you could use the Octal Lively code and chips the way they are to build something chunkier, like on a football, something stiffer that's a wearable, like on a Project Runway architecture skirt.
Yeah,
but
I want a Space Invader jacket, so when someone's talking too close, because there's like Space Invaders, some people are close talkers.
I don't like the close talkers.
It lights up. Maybe it screams.
Go away.
Okay. Next up.
Close talker.
It's a chip.
This chip is a logic level converter. We have a bidirectional logic level converter using the TXB0108, which is a fantastic chip, and it's true bidirectional. You can use it for data that's going either direction, which is really handy. I thought that was a cool chip. But also, if you want something that's less expensive and is just dip breadboard friendly, we package these with the OLEDs we're going to be showing next. But I wanted to have these in the store separately. They're under $2, and you put them in a breadboard and you can convert 3 volt to 5 volt super cleanly. They're ultra fast. I mean, it's basically instantaneously data is transferred from one side to the other.
Okay, and kind of the big product release of the week is this beautiful OLED screen.
Yeah, this is a Kevin Townsend creation.
Great job on this. Kevin K. Town in the house.
He's the producer.
So here's a bunch of still photos, but let's look at it live.
Yeah,
we'll do it live.
Jeez. So hopefully this will show up. I just have problems. Okay, so there you go. That's the OLED. It's very small. It does have a fairly large breakout board because we wanted to have all the pins broken out and then also mounting holes. But it's still fairly small, and you can use this with SPI or 8-bit parallel. The color is really, really beautiful on the OLED. Oh, too bright. They're really, really bright, really, really high contrast. Even the photos that we have, you can see the individual pixels, but in reality they blend together very nicely. It's a really gorgeous little display. Has 96 by 64 pixels, 16-bit color. So really ultra thin. I'll remove this so I can show how skinny it is. Show the back as well. So
you can use a web app to design a picture for the OLED to display. Is there an Arduino library for it?
Yeah, there's an Arduino library for it. It's linked off of the power page. We'll have a wiring diagram shortly.
Of course, you're dealing with Adafruit. We just don't give you a data sheet and say good luck.
On the back, we have a micro SD card holder, and I have an example of showing how to do bitmaps. So that Daffodil is a bitmap that's stored on here.
How are those other pictures?
What's the pixel size?
Huh?
What's the pixel size?
I don't know, but you can look in the data sheet for the screen, which is linked, has like the details of exactly all the pixels. And we solder. It's actually very difficult to solder this on, so we do that for you here. And basically, all you need to do is put the header on. You can use it with 8-bit, so you can read and write from the screen. You can use SPI, which is really very fast and easy, and uses only 3 or 4 pins, or 4 or 5 pins. But you can't read from the screen, so there's trade-offs there. And yeah, it's super skinny. No backlight.
If you wanted to control it with the smallest possible thing to make it display pictures, what would you recommend?
What do you mean?
Like microcontroller?
To display pictures, unfortunately, you have to read the picture off of the card, but a Teensy would actually be able to do it very easily.
There's even 32U4 board action.
And look, it fits right.
Yeah, in fact, it might actually just work on a Teensy immediately, because the Teensy has support for the SD library, and our libraries tend to be very portable. So it may just work if you try to wire it up. The only problem is that it's this is a 3-volt only display, and in order to make it so you could use either 8-bit or SPI, we couldn't put the level shifter on the board because it would conflict.
I got a little wafer between, little level shifter.
I have a project in mind,
a
small project.
If you're using 5-volt logic, you can use that logic chip that we package in with it. A Teensy can be converted to 3-volt logic. You can also convert an Arduino to 3-volt logic.
So you have a little tutorial for that, don't you?
I do have a tutorial for it too. So. I'm thinking about maybe a future revision, depending on whether people use the 8-bit interface. I may just make it SPI only, and then I would put the logic level converter on the backs. But these are design decisions that we have to make. I decided to make it the most useful thing for the most number of people, and then just have a wiring diagram.
It's also open source, so we kind of put stuff out there to see what people do with it.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so this is a really cute OLED, and it, I have all the code to do pretty much everything you want with it. So you can really easily add it to any microcontroller project. People have ported our OLED libraries around a lot, so super easy.
Awesome.
Okay.
Very pretty.
Yeah, we're working on a watch. I mean, yeah, we are.
It's not going to use this OLED.
Not going to use this one though, but yeah, we're working on watches.
This one's too small, but I really like this little OLED.
Yep. Okay, next up, top secret time.
Oh yeah.
It's top secret time. We have 2 or 3 top secret things.
Okay. How about you guys do your top secrets first?
Okay. So Becky, you're working on a project.
Yes, I'm working on a top secret project.
What is this?
My God, it's a couch.
It's the Tron couch.
The Tron couch. Wait a second. Is that a glow in the dark couch?
I'm happy with this transition.
That's a pretty
it's the new EL player project. So that couch, I found it in my new apartment. It was there. It needed some upholstery work. I'm really happy with the staple gun, and
you can just staple that welted EL wire.
And it uses the welted EL wire.
This is a party couch. When you're on this couch, you're having a party.
It's like gonna be when the next time I have a party, it's gonna have to be special action happening.
So Pee Wee Herman had Cherry, and Cherry talked. Couchy is gonna glow.
Yeah, Couchy glows.
Maybe.
Couchy can blink. It's a little obnoxious when Couchy blinks, but Tron couch. So I'm gonna make a tutorial for that. Working on it. It uses the welted and the regular EL wire. Yeah. The welted stuff is good to sew by machine, but if you're hand sewing upholstery, I just sewed around the normal stuff.
All right. Next up, I have one. I got permission from the Python Foundation to do a Python earnable badge.
Python.
Oops,
I love Python.
Yep.
I love their logo.
Adafruit is glued together with Python.
There's so many new languages, but I'm like the last time that I had time to learn languages was when Python was popular.
And so there's all these new languages that I'm just like, man, I don't know Ruby, I don't know Rails, I don't know Haskell.
It's like friends. Once you meet a good set of friends, you don't need to meet anybody else.
You know what? Python is so much better than Perl, so that like,
too.
Yeah. That like I'm kind of done.
Perl used to be the gluey thing, but now it's Python.
Python. Perl sucks. So I'm really glad.
LAMP still works because Python. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
The logo is nice, and you're gonna make a badge.
Yes, give me a badge. Okay. Next up, you have one thing, right?
Yeah, quick one. So this is something we're going to have next week.
Remember, it's not out yet. Don't ask anyone.
It's not out yet, so don't ask. Oh man, this thing is not zooming in.
It's trying to focus on other things. So maybe like.
Yeah, I have to move over.
There you go.
Okay. And then once it's focused, okay. So this is a little GPS breakout board. So we have a bunch of GPS modules in the store, but they're all kind of good and bad in different ways. And so I wanted to have one GPS module to rule them all. So I wanted one that was really small, and this is like a super teeny GPS module, but it's also extremely high sensitivity. It uses the MTK 3329 chipset, which is like negative 165 dBm, which is like fantastic. It's a really great chipset. It does 10 hertz updates. You can change the baud rate. It has, you can connect a battery to the back to have an RTC. It has like a cold start time of like 35 seconds. If you're in a field and you can see all the satellites, it cold start in like 45 seconds. Yeah. It has a fixed LED on it, and we'll also have the bare modules. These are modules that are used by DIY drones, and we saw Chris Anderson at the Wired store in Christmas, and I said, hey, how do you like those GPS modules compared to like the EM406 which you guys? He said, oh, no question, these are fantastic. And I'm like, really? They look so small. And he said, don't be fooled by how small they are.
We also needed to get a good small GPS for all of our wearable stuff.
Right. Yeah. But it's super small, it's super light, but it's a really, really nice little module.
We got a box of GPSs. It is like GPS Thunderdome. It's like 50 GPS enter, 1 GPS leave.
Yeah.
Because like it's kind of a mess out there. Because customers email us all the time. They're like, I don't know. I look around online. There's like 8,000 GPSs, and like it's all.
There's so many different
It
ones.
all seems bad.
The
and
thing
wrong.
is that
so we're
a
just
lot
gonna
of
have
people.
like a couple good ones.
A lot of people have used the Surf 3 chipset, but the Surf chipset's like it's many years old by now. It's probably 10 years old. So even the Surf 3, which is a really good chipset, there's newer ones that are coming out all the time, better ones that have built-in data logging, ones that have much higher update rates, ones that have better cold start. So I want to move towards better, smaller, lower power GPSs. So yeah, it's exciting. So we'll have this in the store soon, and also has our awesome new logo on the back.
That's great. Mm-hmm. Okay, well that was top secret. That's what I was asked. That was it.
Sneak preview.
Yeah, sneak preview. Okay, we're gonna do a trivia question. Then we're out of here. It's always tight.
That was
a
really,
with,
that was
a
a
guests
really,
and everything, yeah.
Yeah.
We had a lot of stuff going on.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, people have a lot of questions. Next week we'll probably just do more questions. All right, it's trivia question time.
Okay.
Trivia questions. Do you?
The prize is an OLED.
The prize is an OLED. Tonight.
Yeah, you get the color OLED.
Yeah, that's right. Of course. Yeah. By the way, the code is OLED. So if you want to buy the stuff to support the show.
Yeah.
If you don't win the trivia question and you still want the OLED.
Yeah.
It's 10% off.
10% off.
Yeah, everything's 10% off.
Pretty good deal.
Yep, it's a good deal. Okay, are you ready? I'm gonna just ask the question.
Oh.
You have to type this in exactly in the chat. Whoever I see who does this first.
The first.
What is the driver chip for the OLED?
And if you won before, don't enter. We've had 2 people entering
and
one. Even if you can't help yourself.
What is the driver chip?
And if you wrote the driver, you can't enter this either, Kevin.
Yeah.
So don't enter.
It's not Thingy.
It's not. Kevin is out on multiple levels for this particular question.
Thingy's not the answer. So far, that's what someone's answered. Nope. Okay, Greg 1415. You won.
It's the SSD 1331 by Solomon Systech, which, like, as far as I can tell, does like every single OLED driver chip. Now, Becky, you probably don't know about every single OLED driver chip, but I do. And they've got the 1331, the 1306, the 1308, the 1332, the 1351. Like, they are like the designer, pretty much, of like all the OLED driver chips for small OLED displays.
Could you show the OLED while I find Cat so I can actually do the live zoom? We'll actually do that for real.
Okay, so let me know when you're ready. Okay, so yeah, we've got the OLED. I'm going to plug it in to here, and then I'll
reset to get this started. Get this party started.
Yeah, daffodil party.
Yeah. Well, I don't have the daffodil.
Not on this one. You have what? So the daffodil's on the SD card, or what? What's generating all of this stuff?
This is just the test for all the graphics elements. So like I wrote the library that does like rectangles and lines and text and color and like printing and round rects and triangles. And so to do that, I want to test that stuff. Live animal. Watch out. Yeah. So this tests out all of that stuff. So I can verify, like, okay, the rectangles are printing okay, the round rects are printing okay, the circles are okay.
All right, so we're gonna.
It's kind of a simple test.
That looks nice.
So I'm gonna do the live zoom in because I did that in the beginning of the show.
Oh, you're gonna go up to the.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So let me know if it focuses. Okay. This is like a giant cat.
Oh God.
Closer,
it's so big.
Closer.
It's coming for you.
Dun, dun, dun.
He wants to look at us. Hi. No, look at the camera. Look over there. No. Some shadow.
Oh, he just meow.
He's like, leave me be.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
All right. Okay.
Can the cat?
Yeah, there he is. Okay. So we're a couple minutes over, but that's fine.
That's fine.
All right. Thanks to everybody who showed up. Thanks to George doing all the recording. Becky, thanks for showing up tonight. Super fun chat.
Cat likes you.
And so you're working on this couch thing. We'll have some stuff up soon. Okay. Next week, some new products coming in the store next week.
New products, yeah.
Got that going on.
We got this GPS module.
GPS thing.
I can make a project with it.
Yep.
Well, it's also going to be used for the Flora too. So I have to design this because I wanted to pick one that was not only really good quality, but also small and lightweight and could be sewn. Like some of these GPS modules are so chunky.
Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah,
they'd be too big too.
So 2 weeks in a row we've been doing HD. It's been working out.
Oh yeah.
The show and tell, the quality's been fantastic. No dropouts or anything really good. So it looks like everything's working out great. And I think that's it for the night.
I'm holding the cat.
You got the cat? Okay. We'll see everyone next week. Thanks for showing up.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, and the cat's waving.
Bye, everybody.
Here is
he doesn't like it.
your moment of Genere.
I don't know why he doesn't like it.